for maybe 2 questions. I think we have time maybe for 2 questions because we have to close at sharp 12:10. Is that right, Malvika? That's right. So maybe 2 questions.
I have a point here which I would like to mention where we spoke about the daughters. Is one about training the daughters to be loving and unconditionally loving themselves. It's also about bringing up the family values with the boys who live in the house. Because what happens is you give one message to the girl, but eventually you're telling the boy, मैं तेरे को सुंदर लड़की से शादी कराऊंगी. I mean, I'm just saying that I think it's time that we all really make the change in our family structure where each one realizes that a woman has to be honored for what she is the day she is born. And every woman on the streets or anywhere else is divine. So the color of the skin shouldn't really matter.
But
thank you.
Absolutely. Very good point. And that was what I was mentioning when I said we have to first live it. Because if as their mothers, if we don't fall prey to that indoctrination, our boys will learn it anyway.
Absolutely.
When our boys are hearing us, our girls are getting one message, our boys are getting the same message. They're internalizing it differently. But they're also hearing us complain about our weight, complain about how we look, complain about our clothes, and what the same message they're getting is मोती नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए, तो जब मैं शादी करूंगा, तो मैं कोई ऐसे. So if we as their mothers refuse to buy into that,
absolutely,
and absolutely embody that sense of fullness and completeness and strength in who we are, then our boys, as they love us and as they grow up in our laps, are going to carry that with them into all of their relationships.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Namaskar. Such a mesmerizing session. Often we are so cluttered and we carry such excess baggage. Could you help us give a few tips to detoxify our inner self so that there is some shower of inner realization?
Wonderful. My guru always says, travel light. He says, when you travel through the airport, if you're going to go on an external journey, the main headaches are all due to luggage. Saman is overweight, you have to pay, Saman doesn't close, it's taking extra time at security, they want to look through your bag, Saman ponchini, now you have to fill out the forms. Jab Saman hote nahi hai, travel is much easier. So, it's a wonderful point. The inner baggage is really very much of that clay that we were talking about. It begins a lot with the false identification. I identify as this body, so I identify as the history. In my history, I have been abused, abandoned, neglected, betrayed, cheated. All of these things happen. Therefore, I am carrying anger, grudges, bitterness. I don't trust. That's my inner baggage. I see the world through that very, very narrow lens, almost like I were looking at the world through this paper towel tube or toilet paper tube, and all I'm able to see is that which reinforces my sense of being a victim, of being betrayed, of getting the short end of the stick, of being taken advantage of. And the problem with that is we don't see the rest. There was a wonderful, wonderful psychological study that they did where they brought in subjects and they made subjects sit and watch a basketball game on a video. And it was about a 5 or 6 minute game, and the task was they had to count how many baskets each team made, white team and red team. And they were told, be very careful, make sure you count every basket. We're going to ask you afterwards, how many baskets did the red team make? How many baskets did the white team make? So they watch and they watch very attentively. And at the end of the 5 or 6 minutes, the researchers say, can you please tell us how many baskets? And they tell them. Then the researchers say, Did you notice anything else? Anything unusual in this basketball game? About 50% of the people said no. Now, here's what the real study was. It wasn't about baskets. Halfway through the game, an enormous gorilla came onto the middle of the basketball court, proceeded to dance and flail its arms for 30 seconds in the middle of the field. And about 50% of the people didn't notice. And the reason I mention this is, we say, oh, well, you know, you talk about grace, but that grace isn't happening in my life, or this isn't happening, that isn't happening, it must be my stars, must be my bad karma. And we're not able to see it. We're so focused on the metaphoric counting of baskets that we don't even notice that which is right in front of us, dancing before our eyes. And so what we have to first realize is, well, if that which I'm carrying happened to me more than 7 or 8 years ago, there's not a cell of my being to which that happened. You cannot show me the person who was abused, the person who was betrayed, the person who was cheated. The cells of our body are constantly regenerating. Within 7 or 8 years, every one of them has regenerated. Who's the you? Who is the you or the I to which this has happened? What's the anger I'm carrying? What's the grudge I'm carrying? Where's the person that happened to? But since then, that has formed my tunnel vision. So what we have to do is widen the vision, let go of the I to which that happened, because that I no longer exists. It's not with me. And release it. There are beautiful, beautiful prayers and rituals, but you don't even need those. If every morning when you take a shower, imagine that water melting the clay. As you stand in the shower, clay is not like some pucka cement. Imagine the water just melting the clay. Let it go. What are we holding on to anyway?
I think we've run out of time, and I have the unfortunate job of being the clock police. And I've had so many takeaways, Sadhviji, and I feel privileged and very, very humbled to be sitting right here next to you, learning so much. And two very, very specific takeaways for me are the 3 goddesses. I didn't realize till today that there are these 3 seeds living within me in my DNA. And all I need to do is invoke them by remembering them and bringing them to life. And the other very big takeaway for me was the word enough. The single word that stands between me and happiness is knowing how much is enough. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Friends, we are all gold here. I think we will all have to now start working towards melting the clay. Thank you, Sadhviji. Thank you, Simranji. That was so beautiful and so much to learn. May I request Jayanti Dalmia to give a token of our appreciation and a green certificate to Sadhviji. We plant a tree in your name through this green certification. Maybe put our hands together. Thank you so much, Sadhviji. May I request Ritu Chakti? Ritu Chakti, please, can you give a small token of our appreciation and a green certificate to Simranji? May I now request Malvika to tell us a little more about the 150 stories of women achievers encapsulated beautifully in the book published by Flow titled Entrepreneurship Against All Odds. A very warm welcome to Srimati Najma Heptullah. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. A very, very warm welcome to you. It's such an honor to have you here with us. Malvika, may I please request you to please take over and tell us more about this book?
I'm delighted to welcome Nazma ji to this special session to recognize and felicitate 11 women whose entrepreneurship against all odds has made them role models. Flow has identified 150 such women entrepreneurs at grassroots levels from all over the country who have made a mark and achieved success. The idea for this was given by Shri Narendra Bhai Modi last year when he addressed us. As suggested by him, we brought out the stories in a special publication so that they become the source of inspiration for others to follow. All these 150 entrepreneurs were women whom our country can be proud of. Flow would like to provide a platform to help their businesses, if possible, through access to banking facilities or venture capital and to new markets for their goods and services. What started as an idea from Modi ji a year ago has blossomed into a full project for Flow. I would now request our Senior Vice President Archana to take the proceedings forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends and esteemed guests. I would like to welcome Najma ji to our AGM at Flow. Dr. Najma Heptullah is Vice President of the Bharatiya Janata Party, an Indian politician, and was a Rajya Sabha member from Rajasthan from July 2004 to July 2010. She was nominated by the BJP for the upper house in 2012 from Madhya Pradesh. She is the grandniece of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, a prominent Indian freedom fighter, a strong proponent of United India, and its first Minister of Education after independence. She holds both a Masters of Science degree in zoology and a PhD in cardiac anatomy from the University of Denver. Welcome, Najma ji. Today, we will be recognizing 11 grassroots achievers, women who have moved themselves and their families out of poverty by setting up enterprises with a little banking help from microcredit agencies or self-help groups. They have struggled against all odds. Most of them had very little education. They were located in rural areas with no infrastructure. They come from very poor families working on daily wages and often going hungry. Now, these women run enterprises and employ people. They have educated their children and built houses for them. They have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Their example has changed things in their village and villages and caused many other women to start similar enterprises, sparking off social change as well. It is well documented that women invest comparatively more in social capital by spending on the education, health, and nutrition of their families. It is a core value of Flow to empower women economically. And here we see shining examples of women who have indeed empowered themselves with a little help. We at Flow hope to work with you in future, Najma ji, to empower thousands of women similarly and change the very fabric of our society. I would just like to recite a couplet which exemplifies what they have done. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. I would now like to request Najma ji and Malvika ji to come forward to give the awards. Chetna Sinha. In 1997, Chetna Sinha, a farmer, started India's first cooperative bank for rural women in Mhaswad, a small village in the Satara district of Maharashtra, with a semi-literate workforce of women from the same village. She wanted to provide loans to help farmers recover from their economic condition. Today, despite facing over 8 to 10 hours of load shedding in a day, the bank has managed to introduce both computerized and door-to-door banking to offer its services to over 180,000 women across 9 districts in rural Maharashtra and Karnataka. Further, to look after the needs of several underprivileged women entrepreneurs, in 2012, Chetna ji partnered with New York-based Clinton Global Initiative to set up the Mandeshi Chamber of Commerce for Rural Women. She also started the Mandeshi Business School with the aim of helping rural women organize their businesses in a professional manner. I will now request Chetna ji. Please give the award, and I'd like to request Chetna ji to say a few words.
Sure.
Chetna ji, please say a few words.
I'm just, I'm really thankful to FICCI Women's Organization and jury particularly. अब सही तो मैं ये थोड़ा बताना चाहती हूँ कि मेरा I am born and brought up in Mumbai. I was in Jayaprakash Narayan's movement and in JP movement, where I met my husband, who is farmer, and I shifted to the village in Maharashtra. So the story is a little bit different. And मैं थोड़ा सा सिर्फ यही बताना चाह रही हूँ कि ये बैंक कैसे शुरू हुई. मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये भारत के लिए हमारी सब औरतें कितनी जो बता रही थी साध्वी जी, तो मुझे लगा कि ये शक्ति कितनी है. हमने जब बैंकिंग लाइसेंस के लिए रिजर्व बैंक में अप्लाई किया तो हमारी सब औरतें, मोस्ट ऑफ देम वर नॉन लिटरेट, और हर एक के नाम के सामने अंगूठा था. तो रिजर्व बैंक रिजेक्टेड द लाइसेंस सेइंग दैट हाउ कैन वी इश्यू अ लाइसेंस टू अ वुमेन्स बैंक हुज प्रमोटिंग मेंबर्स आर नॉन लिटरेट. तो मैं मुंबई से वापस आके बस में रो रही थी. और सही तो हमारी एक है यहाँ लक्ष्मीबाई जब बैंक शुरू की, और मैंने महिलाओं से कहा कि लाइसेंस रिजेक्ट हुआ क्योंकि हमारी महिलाएं सब प्रमोटिंग मेंबर्स नॉन लिटरेट है. मैं बस से आई, मैं रो रही थी, हमारी महिला रोई नहीं. उन्होंने कहा उसमें क्या, शाम को ही हम लोग लिटरेसी क्लास चालू करेंगे और फिर से अप्लाई करेंगे. आई मीन सी. और फिर बाद में 6 महीने के बाद हम लोगों ने फिर से अप्लाई किया. तब मुझे इतना पता चल गया था कि मेरे से इन महिलाओं में ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस है और रिजर्व बैंक के ऑफिसर्स को मेरे से वो ज़्यादा पसीना ले आएंगी. तो हम लोगों की मीटिंग हुई और महिला, मुझे नहीं पता था कि व्हाट women are going to talk, बट मुझे इतना पता था कि दे विल मैनेज वेरी वेल. तो हमारी चेंबर्स में डेप्यूटी गवर्नर के साथ मीटिंग हुई. महिलाओं ने कहा कि आपने लाइसेंस रिजेक्ट किया क्योंकि हम पढ़े लिखे नहीं थे, पर हम जब बड़े हो रहे थे तो स्कूल ही कहाँ थी. सही. और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि हमको कोई भी प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट, मुद्दल रक्कम का व्याज, इंटरेस्ट कॅल्क्युलेट करने के लिए बोलो. आम्हाला कुठल्याही मुद्दल रकमेचं व्याज मोजायला सांगा. इफ वी फेल, डोंट इश्यू द लायसन्स, बट टेल योर ऑफिसर्स टू डू इट and grab their calculators, and let's see who does fast. So I'm just humble and thank you so much. I'm just saying, this is Mandeshi Bank. You will never see a bank who is providing bicycles to girls to go to school. We have 7,000 girls who have got bicycles from the bank to go to school. Bank started with savings, and Lakshmi Bai will tell her story. She goes to radio also. We have started radio and business school also. Thank you so much.
Chetna ji, that was tremendous, and we are humbled. Lakshmi Lokhande. Lakshmi ji has a big smile. Behind that smile lie determination, strength, and passion. Married when but a child, her family lived in a straw shelter because nothing else was affordable. She launched a business processing wood fibers from trees and weaving them to make brooms and ropes. She took a loan from Mandeshi Mahila Bank in 1997, and now she hires people. Each week, she earns more than 2,000 rupees. The greatest gift to Lakshmi ji is that her grandchildren are enrolled in the university. In addition to financing her entire extended family's education, Lakshmi ji has also built a house for her daughter as well as her son. दो शब्द कहेंगे लक्ष्मी जी? नहीं, ट्रांसलेट की है.
मसवड माझं गाव, लक्ष्मी लोखंडे. मी करसुण्याचा धंदा करते. खेड्यापाड्याने ऐकते, रोजची रोज ऐकते. बँकेत जाऊन जमा करते आपले पैसे. विषय ही आपले लावलेले आहे. मी या बँकेमुळं इथपर्यंत मी आली इमानात. लय भ्या सांगत, पण काय सुद्धा वाटलं नाही. लय मला आनंद झाला इथवर आली ती.
मेरा नाम लक्ष्मी लोखंडे है. मैं मसवड़ से हूँ और मैं यहाँ पर जो आई हूँ वो मैं झाड़ू बनाने का काम करती हूँ. और ये जो झाड़ू बनाती हूँ वो गांव में जाकर बेचती हूँ और वापस आकर मैं मानदेशी महिला बैंक में जमा कर देती हूँ. और जो कोई मेरा मानदेशी में सेविंग का अकाउंट है, पेंशन का अकाउंट है और आरडी भी है ऑल्सो. और मैं जो कोई यहाँ पर आने के लिए मैं प्लेन से आई हूँ, तो मुझे बहुत आनंद हो रही है कि मैं फर्स्ट टाइम प्लेन में बैठी हूँ. तो मुझे गर्व होता है कि मानदेशी के हिसाब से मैं यहाँ पर आ पहुंची. तो आप सबका थैंक यू बोलती हूँ और आपने मुझे अवार्ड देकर सम्मानित किया, इसलिए आपका धन्यवाद देती हूँ.
मला भी खूब आनंद झाला.
मनोरमा देवी. After being thrown out of her husband's house, Manorma Devi, after being thrown out of her husband's house in 1993 for not having a son, Manorma Devi had no choice but to live with her brothers and parents. With a meager income from agriculture and a small welding shop, the family was just subsisting. Manorma Devi knew she needed to be more than just another woman doing household chores. She started out with odd jobs on an old stitching machine borrowed from an uncle. The real turn of events took place in 2006, where after much persuasion, Manorma Devi joined a self-help group formed under the Jivika project of the Bihar government. With a rupees 6,000 loan, Manorma Devi started a small cosmetic shop in the village. Currently, she sells her products in village weekly markets and is expanding her business. Her success inspired other women. She herself began to convince women about the benefits of a collective. Today, her self-help group has clamped down on moneylenders. Unhappy with the village public distribution system dealer, the self-help group asked the district magistrate to intervene, and today the self-help group runs the shop, a first ever occurrence in Bihar. Her transformation from a victim to a self-help group flag bearer is remarkable. मनोरमा जी 2 शब्द कहेंगे प्लीज.
सभी को मेरा प्रणाम. मेरा नाम मनोरमा देवी है. गया जिला बिहार से आई हूँ. मैं जीविका के तरफ से मैं हम आई हूँ. और सभी मेरा जब हम ग्रुप बनाए थे 2015 में हम लोग 6 में बनाए ग्रुप. और उसके बाद फिर हमने जब ग्रुप चलाने लगे अच्छा तो हमने ग्राम संगठन बनाए. 30 मार्च 2008 में बनाए. तो हम लोग लोन लेकर हम लोग रोजगार किए हैं चूड़ी का. तो आगे जब हम बढ़ने लगे तो और हमको मेरा गांव में जो है दीदी लोग तो और रोजगार किए हैं. तो और हम सोच रहे हैं कि और हम आगे रोजगार बढ़ाए. मैंने बड़ा दुकान करना चाह रही हूँ. सोच है ही कि बड़ा दुकान करे तो दीदी जो 17 महिला जो दीदी अपना रोजगार कर रही है, यदि हम बड़ा दुकान कर कर उसमें और हमें बिजनेस करना चाह रहे हूँ तो उससे दीदी अपना लेकर और अपना रोजगार भी करेगी और आगे की भी भविष्य बनाएगी. यही तो नहीं सोची थी कि हम इतना दूर तक हम पहुँचे. बाकी जीविका के द्वारा हम इतना दूर तक पहुँचे और हमको धन्यवाद, हमको अच्छा लगा और हम सभी को मैं धन्यवाद देती हूँ.
Kumari S. Bindu. Kumari S. Bindu of village Palichal in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, always knew a life of constraint. She tutored lower primary students when she was 14. This small income enabled her to graduate in Sanskrit. Bindu ji got married at the age of 20. Her husband ran a watch repair shop which was not profitable. She decided to do something and started a neighborhood group under the Kutumbashree initiative of the Kerala government called Aishwarya. She started a hair oil unit. Initially sold in nearby villages, the product quality impressed Kutumbashree officials who invited her to a fair at St. Mary's School, Pattam. It was a start. She started participating in fairs. She soon introduced value-added Ayurvedic products like a Brahmi-based dessert and a Brahmi rice soup. They were a great success. Inspired, she went on to study Ayurveda. As a result, her Gramashri shop now offers 18 products. Today, Binduji runs the enterprise with her husband and 3 other women from the village. Her turnover is about rupees 20,000 a month, and quite often in a fair she may make up to rupees 50,000. In 2012, she was honored with the Kerala State Government Best Entrepreneur Award.
Good morning, respected persons on the dais and my dear audience. I am Bindu, hailing from Palichal Panchayat in Trivandrum district and a member of Kudumbashree Kerala.